Well, welcome to Imperfect Together. We are testing out some fancy new microphones that feel like they're bigger than my face.
I don't like them.
It'll probably sound really much better.
Yeah.
And we've got Jillian with us today.
Yeah.
Hi, Jillian.
Hey. Chris.
So
hey, Zach.
before we were rolling, we were talking about comedians, and we were talking about Dave Chappelle. I'm sure that everyone here in the YouTube world will know who Dave Chappelle is. This girl did not know who Dave Chappelle was, but then said, "Oh, he's a comedian. You want to know what my favorite comedian is?"
I did not say
Kim Kardashian.
No, I said that she did a good job on SNL.
You said she was a good comedian.
You did say she was a good comedian.
I said
because she did a good job on SNL.
She's a comedian because she did a good job on SNL.
You hurt me. So today, with that statement alone, I thought she would be the perfect person to talk about Free Brittany. And so
old Brittany.
Britney Spears, she's on the headlines right now with conservatorship and all that stuff. What's your favorite Britney song?
Toxic. Either that or Womanizer.
Womanizer,
Okay, did you ever...
I'm a womanizer.
It's a good thing Brittany sings it.
No, I think he should sing it instead. Did y'all ever watch Glee?
Was it? Because you know that I'm toxic.
That is toxic. That is toxic. That's toxic. Did you ever watch Glee?
You want to know my favorite Britney Spears song?
What?
It's like, she's a lucky, she's a star, but she cries in her lonely heart thinking, if there's nothing missing in my life, then why do these tears come at night?
Yeah.
So
you know that
something
song?
missing in her life.
That's a great song. You
I
never
guess.
heard of it?
Dave
It's Lucky.
Chappelle.
No, it's Lucky by
that
Britney
song.
Spears.
Lucky.
If you heard the actual version,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
you know it.
I can't tell what song that
It's
is.
the same
It's
album.
Zach's
It's the
singing
same. It's the same album as "Oops, I Did It Again."
Oh yeah.
You played with my heart, got lost in the game. Oh,
You know,
baby,
I mean,
Oh my
we have
gosh.
to cut it to Brittany because she set so many records in her career for all of her albums that she had. She was the youngest to what's the word I'm looking for?
Go platinum.
She was on the Mickey Mouse
She
Club,
had that
right?
multi.
She was on Mickey Mouse
Club.
She was on the Mickey Mouse.
That's whenever she met Justin Timberlake,
Yeah, they had a thing.
And I learned.
and that was a problem.
And then Justin Timberlake was like, "Cry me a river, cry me a river." Ah. And Timberlake's like, "The battle is done, so I guess I believe in." Oh.
That music video
I
was
know what to
definitely
do.
about
Damage
her.
is done, so I guess I'll be leaving. Yeah, Timberland messed up that marriage, or that.
No, she
Timberlake?
cheated on him.
No, Timberland. Timberland is the one that did that song. He did the beats, but he was like, "The damage is done, so I guess I'll be leaving."
Okay.
He also
That was
said
about
he also
Britney
did he also
and-
did
and
Timberland
Justin?
also did. Excuse me, I apologize. I'm still late. That song.
That was One Republic with Timberland.
Yeah, Timberland. Yeah.
I think.
Anyways, go on. I need to stop singing.
You do.
I
Really.
need to stop singing.
Okay, so on Glee, I don't know if you ever watched it, but there was 13 seasons, 7 or 30. There's
I know the show. Never watched it.
Yeah. So they did Britney weeks because each week they'd have a theme, and the Glee Club would have a theme, and there was Britney Spears week, and then there was a Britney 2.0 week, and it was because this girl on the show, her name was Brittany S. Spears, and she was really stupid. No offense to her.
Stupid is a strong word.
Yeah, I didn't mean stupid. She was just not as smart as others. She she thought she was Britney Spears because her name is Brittany S. Spears.
You want to know something about Glee?
Yeah.
I knew an extra that was on Glee for 7 seasons.
Nice.
Shout out to that girl that I used to know.
Do you remember her name?
I forgot her name.
You knew her so well.
I think it was. I want to say it was Catherine, but it's not. It's not my wife.
Oh goodness.
I forgot.
Interesting.
Yeah, she was from. I met her at Discipleship Focus. But yeah, she was she was the extra.
There you go.
For Glee. All right, so let's talk about a little bit about her history. So she had all these records, she had all these deals, And then she dated Federline,
Mm-hmm.
had a few kids. They broke up. She cut her hair. She got a little bald. And then
Hold on. So why do you think she did that?
I mean, I think it's traumatizing to start out as a kid and have that much pressure on you.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think that caused them a lot of mental illness just from like the pressure and just always being in the public image, and just kind of like broke eventually and was like, yeah, I'm done. And like broke.
I think anyone would break.
I
agree,
break.
especially. I mean, that's what's hard about being young and famous.
Yeah.
And especially when you got the paparazzi in your face all the time. Like I watched one of those documentaries, I don't know, Framing Brittany or something. I'm like, dude, if I had those paparazzi in my face all the time, I'd be pissed.
Brittany, I saw a documentary called Brittany versus Spears. That's what I saw, and it's like
I can't remember the one I watched.
The paparazzi was just like they were like
they're everywhere.
Like she was
like you can't go anywhere.
She was in the ambulance, and like they were like taking pictures of her while she was in the ambulance and running after her, and it was just like jeez, it was insane. But yeah, I'm just like I can't. I would freak if that was a thing.
I mean, I would too. I mean, I wouldn't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
It's not worth being famous.
Yeah. Yeah, so she had a little of a mental health crisis, and she kind of had some issues there. And then the conservatorship happened.
Conservatorship.
All right. Chris, you seem like a very smart person. Can you explain to me what a conservatorship is?
Conservatorship.
Basically, somebody else is in charge of your life.
Yep.
It's the easiest way to put it.
Yep.
Basically.
Yep.
There can be different levels of that, but for her, it was pretty much everything.
Her dad had her financial, everything that they didn't think that she was able to do, he was in control of.
Yeah. Yep. So he was, so he had control of everything. He had control of her bank, all of it. Like if she wanted to buy books for her kids, she would have to go through channels just to get a few $100s.
So does she have any kind of like allowance with it? Like
she had
we'll give you this much a week?
She had an $8,000 allowance a month. But the thing is, so they're like, oh, she's unstable. She can't handle anything. But at the same time, she's doing her own music. She's touring. She's doing all this stuff.
Like, if you can do that.
Yeah, like
if you can make $1 million a week
she did the circus tour under this conservatorship. And, like, she's doing acrobats and, like, different things. And it's like, okay, something's a little off here. Something's weird.
So I remember the first time I don't follow Brittany very much, but the first time I saw something, and it was probably a while ago, it had something to do with, they were talking about, they thought that she was trapped and she was like communicating through her Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody said something about, if you're in trouble or whatever, wear a yellow shirt. And then she comes out with a yellow shirt and yellow flowers or something. I don't remember the details of it. But you have to be pretty clever.
Yep.
Because apparently there's this other podcast that kind of started dissecting her Instagram accounts. And it seemed like there was a lot of stuff that she was trying to put out there without being caught. I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. But
she was a lot smarter than I thought.
What are your thoughts on her father?
To a certain extent, I can see where he could be a concerned parent and just wanting the best for his kid, but I feel like there was more to it, and I just don't think that's what was going on. I feel like he may have loved his daughter, but he probably he was looking out or trying to get money himself, maybe. I don't know.
What do you think,
Yeah,
Chris?
I think it's hard to speculate because obviously we don't know anything.
I think he was a dirtbag.
Well, that's fine. You speculate.
I think
he probably was, but it's not fair for me to say because I don't know all the details. But
from what I read and what I saw,
yes, from what we've been shown, it looks like he was out for himself. It
Yeah.
may have not have started that way, but it ended that way.
Yeah.
At least it looks like. I mean
to
there
the
was a
point where
reason. There was a reason she didn't want her dad to be in
to
charge.
the
of
point
that.
where she's wearing a yellow shirt and all this stuff. That's
Right.
an issue.
I agree.
And I think her father, like when there was even a thing where she was trying to get her own lawyer, but then her father was like, no, you can't have that lawyer.
They appointed her somebody else.
I'm going to appoint you a free lawyer.
The judge did it.
Yeah, the judge did it, and then that lawyer was kind of in
no
it for the
sense.
money too, and it was just like the whole thing was backwards. The whole thing is
Oh,
backwards.
I agree.
But I have a question for you guys. Are there stories in the Bible that can any way relate to this? I have one if you guys can't think of one.
You
I'd
got
have to
it.
think about that one.
How about the Pharaoh? Not
The
letting
who?
the Pharaoh.
Oh, I
He's
think you
like-
said the Pharaoh, like
the
a feral cat.
The Pharaoh and Moses. The Pharaoh was like,
Yeah.
no, you can't take my people away. And Moses is like, let my people go. Well, he also had a speech
I
impediment,
mean,
so
it was
it's
a
like,
little bit
let-
different
let-
scenario, but yeah,
Huh?
I get what you're saying.
yeah. So that's what I could think of on that. And I was thinking about in the context of Brittany Spears, and I'm like, can you imagine like TMZ going to Pharaoh? Right?
What would TMZ say to Pharaoh? I mean, really, I
don't
think that'd be
know.
more after Moses. They'd be following him around.
Yeah. I guess.
And then they go nuts when all these like plagues start happening. I mean,
Yeah.
that's TMZ gold right
Yeah.
there.
Getting crickets in the nose and
And they'd probably
slaughtering
be telling
people.
like, look, Pharaoh, just let him go.
yeah, let them
It's
go.
not worth it.
Yeah, stop it, bro. Chill. That's if I was Moses, I would be like, Pharaoh, look what's going on. See what's happening. You need to chill out, bro. You just need to let me have let me have your people. It ain't working out. And then Pharaoh's like, nah, man. And then
You sound like Beavis and Butthead.
yeah, Pharaoh's like, nah, man, I got this. And then Moses is like, all right, I'm gonna throw some crickets at you,
Crickets.
you dumb turd.
He just threw crickets at him.
Yeah, threw crickets. He
Might wanna reread
he
the
did
story.
famishes. What else he
What?
did? He did famishes.
Are you-
He
what?
famished everyone. Didn't they famish?
Famine?
Famine. Yeah. Yeah.
Famished
He
is when like, oh, I'm famished. I'm so hungry.
Yeah, they were famined. They got famined.
Wow.
They got famined. And what else happened? There was
Did
the
they?
crickets. There was the locusts.
There was locust. You finally got one right.
There's the locusts, and then there was the
So-
cows got all dried up. That was the famine.
I think you're mixing stories, bro.
And then the angels slaughtered all the rest because they didn't put blood on their doors.
Okay. That's true.
Yeah. What else am I missing?
I'm just trying to figure out your point.
I do.
Oh, I have
where
no
you,
point.
Where are you going with this?
Let's hear it.
I have no point.
You got to make up one up.
No, I was trying to think of a story in the Bible that
You're like,
could
how do I
relate to
tie the
Brittany,
Bible into this story?
the Brittany versus Spears, and I was thinking of Pharaoh and him kind of taking control, and Pharaoh trying to take control, but it just wasn't. It wasn't in his cards, and I think with Jamie Spears, I think he's trying to take control. That's not really his.
Yeah.
I think that they should have put like a professional in that position instead of especially with like the finances, because like, was he the best fit person for that role to be in charge of the conservatory or kids?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that's
that
why
one.
she wanted the bank to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
And
that's
so-
neutral that can't take all her money.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
she's
to me, there's so many underlying issues of things that we could talk about
yeah.
with this whole story, from mental health to
Mhm.
being careful who you let control you. I mean, even though she didn't let it happen, but
Yeah.
like it was,
I
The-
think that honestly, I think the conservatorship is kind of inhumane. Like, I think that
well, it was used in a purpose
it's
that
used-
wasn't what it was really
yeah,
created for.
it's used. It's someone messing with the system.
Mhm.
It's used for like people with dementia or like someone that doesn't have the mindset to control their estate. So if I'm like 103-year-old person and I'm still handling my finances, I'm probably not going to be the best at it. So a censorship right there would work.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work here.
No, it seemed like the loophole
Yeah.
to get control of the money.
Yeah, when I was watching this documentary, they were interviewing this doctor, and were like, well, your name's right there. And he's like, tell me where I signed it, though. And they couldn't find anywhere that they signed it. He was like, yeah, they might have put my name on there, but
Whose
I didn't
name?
sign off on that.
Whose name?
The doctors.
The doctor's name.
I
That
don't know.
said that she was ill fit to not have control over money or something like that. But it had his name, but it didn't have his signature.
I mean, like, you also have to, like, look at whenever she locked herself in the bathroom with her son, and, like, the court was like, oh, she's not fit to raise her kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, like, another part of it where, like, there were so many times where she wasn't the best to her kids. And the court was like, she's just not fit to be a mother right now, and put that into it as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, there's so many sides to that because, I mean, you look at shaving her head, for example. You know, it was all painted as she's gone crazy, and everybody made fun of her and whatever because that's what people do. But on the other side of it, it seemed like there was also this story of, I'm tired of y'all controlling me. I'm taking control myself. And it's almost like just a demonstration of, I'm not going to be the pretty girl you want me to be anymore. And so how much, it's hard to know how much was she's just taking control of the narrative versus she's crazy, right? Because sure, she did stuff wrong. And I think as things progressed, I mean, they drove her to that point.
Yeah.
But how much of it was she's not really crazy. She's just demonstrating things in different ways or trying to protect her kids. Or, I mean, I don't know even what your story you're talking about, but
Yeah.
I think there's a balance of both.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately my guess would be that like everything drove her to that point.
So what's a healthy authority? What's a healthy, like, authority boundary? You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
For instance, I'm in high school. My authority figure would be my mother. When is it like, oh, I shouldn't be trusting my mother? You know what I'm saying? Like,
When they're telling you to do something illegal,
yeah,
right? I think you're always going to have authority in your life, right? Even now, my parents are still my parents.
yeah,
They can tell me what to do, but I don't have to listen. But when I'm under 18, I do. Or if I'm living in their house, I got to live by their rules. Or whether it's a boss or whoever, there's always going to be people that are in authority over you. And I think our job is to really be respectful of authority, whether we like them or agree with them or not.
yeah,
But when they're telling me to do something that I fundamentally disbelieve in or is illegal, or, you know, in our case, if it's, to me, if it's unbiblical and you're telling me to do something and I don't agree with that, then now I'm going to respectfully say no. And I'll tell you why, and we can have a conversation. Usually that doesn't go that way. Usually we want to get in a big fat argument and yell and then point out all the reasons that's wrong with you and all that kind of stuff. But the healthy way to do that is, listen, I understand what you're trying to tell me to do, but here's why I'm not doing that. And ultimately, and that's where taking a stand comes in and being able to speak up and you know, be an activist or whatever the case may be, is when it's something you fundamentally believe in, and it's you're not. I'm not doing something to somebody else.
yeah,
And what I'm just protecting myself and what I truly believe.
yeah. Yeah, I think when it boils down to is do not submit to the world, but submit to God. Right? Would you say that's fair to say?
But
I know,
at the same
I know
time,
that your I know that your parents is also an authority and you should respect them. But whenever they're kind of doing worldly things and not, like, for instance, whenever I was in high school, you know, my parents had my mom had a gambling problem. I knew I know at that age, oh, that's not the right way to do things, you know. I'm not gonna follow my mom's footsteps even though that I was 16 years old. I know, well, that's probably not a good thing.
Right, but was she telling you to go gamble?
I mean, there was some sketchy finances that she was encouraging me to do. Yeah.
Right, and so that's when.
But it
you're
wasn't
standing up
illegal.
against
It wasn't
authority.
illegal what she wanted me to do, but it was still like
Right, and that's when I think it's okay to stand up.
yeah.
But to say like, I can't submit to the world. One, that's a very churchy thing for us to say. We separate the world and God.
It's accurate.
Okay, but either way,
Are you saying to submit to the world?
If my boss, if my
No,
boss
that's
is
what
not, if my boss is not a Christian, I'm still supposed to submit to him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's all on how you define it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your take as a high school girl
On what?
on authority and how to deal with authority? Because obviously, I'm
Submitting
sure you
to
deal with
authority.
this daily.
I think that just because you're in an authority position, I think that you still have to be willing to see the other side of the story, see other people's point of view,
Mm-hmm.
and work together, not just be like, I'm in power, so it's my decision and it's my choices, it's my world. Be like, what is your opinion? How can we fix this? How can we work together? And don't use your power to make it all about you.
Oh, I completely agree
Yeah.
with that.
That's good.
But it doesn't always work that way.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So ultimately, what do you do then? I mean, a very popular thing for us parents to say is, because I said so.
It's
Right.
easy. It's easy to say that.
It is. Usually it would be best if we gave an explanation.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just like,
I'm
I mean,
already
it doesn't
annoyed.
really matter. Like if you're not going to go spend the night somewhere or whatever.
Yep.
No, I just want you home tonight. It's as simple as that.
And
Okay,
I
and I
think-
can explain that, but you don't always get that. So what do you do as a teenager when you don't get the explanation, or your authority, whoever it is, a teacher, a coach, or whatever, isn't willing to have that conversation?
I think that plays into just respecting each other as like as an authority figure. Like if you're not respecting, should you be in that authority position? And just or
I mean, I get that, but let's flip it to your side now. Oh, sorry.
it's okay. Just hit my
They're
camera.
not respecting you,
Mhm.
but you're being told to do something by, let's say, a coach or a teacher. Because we get this all the time from our parent. And so, but let's just take that out of it and go somewhere else. What is the healthy or the right way to respond to an authority, assuming they're not telling you to do something illegal or wrong or anything like that?
I think the best way would be to just be like, I'd actually really like to talk about it, and say like you were to tell me that I couldn't lead on Wednesday nights anymore. Just be like, so why can't I lead anymore? Like, is there a problem? Is there a way we can figure it out? Or is there something I can do to improve? And if they don't want to have that conversation, just be like, okay, well, that's your decision, and just move on with it. And even if that's not really what you want, you just have to move on, because that's their decision and they are the authority figure. And that's whenever respect from you comes in.
Mhm.
And just be like, there's probably a better solution for it anyways, and try to see their point of view the best you can. And I don't know, maybe there's another position that I could be better at.
No, I agree
that's
with you. I
good.
think that's a good answer.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, I wish people didn't abuse power and authority, but
People do it all
We
the
do.
time.
All the time.
and sometimes even unintentionally.
Yeah.
But that's having this conversation hopefully helps parents and teachers and coaches. Not, I don't know if they're listening to us or not, but being able to see both sides and have a conversation about things. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with having conversations about things, having tough conversations.
I love to abuse my power.
That's great, Zach. That's why. I don't even know, what to say.
what kind of power I
I don't
have.
know.
I don't even know what kind of power I have, but I'll abuse it if I have it.
You're a great role model. Maybe that's why you don't have any power.
It's probably.
Learn from that.
I don't abuse my power. That was a joke. I don't abuse my power. I I think I handle my power greatly.
Proud of
proud.
you.
I hope so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, yep. Any last words? Any last things
Yes,
we want
I
to
have
say?
a question back to Brittany. Where do we stand in this whole free Britney? Like, is she free?
Yeah,
Are we
it's
still,
free
we're
now.
still trying to
Free
figure
now.
this out.
So
Like the
as-
documentary I watched just ended. Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
so she
okay.
I
Well,
did
is.
too.
I would say within the last few weeks, she is now free.
Yeah,
last few weeks.
it's been a few
Yeah,
weeks.
It's been a few weeks.
Oh,
She's
wow.
free.
Because they did try to extend it farther, like a couple months ago,
Yeah.
a few months ago. But then I guess it ended. I never knew when it ended, but
Yeah.
I guess
when
it did.
when did it start? Like, when did the
Whenever
2008.
Yeah. 16 years.
the free Britney thing started?
Well,
No. Free Britney.
Free Britney,
Yeah, like,
isn't
like-
July. It was like since like July of 2020.
and
20 or
Britney
21.
Britney
So-
hated the Free Britney movement. She was like, "This is stupid. Like don't do that. Like that's not a thing." She didn't start it, and she didn't agree with the whole movement. She just like, "I just went out of my conservatorship. Like it's not
Yeah.
to be made a big deal of. It's just
Yeah, she felt like she was like kind of a victim.
Do you think she'll ever come out and share her side of the story of like, here's what
She
really
sort of
happened?
already has.
Or has she done that?
a
she's
little
done a
bit.
few like interviews and things like that." But
Like she said something. She did some kind of message, I think either on Instagram or something like that, and kind of voiced her opinion. And it was just like, this is messed up that my dad's doing and all this stuff. And, like I've been, I've told people that I was okay for the longest time, but I'm not okay, and I thought maybe me continuing to say that I was okay, it would eventually be okay, but I'm not okay.
I'm like, it's okay to
Yeah.
not be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Conversation we
topic.
can have in
That's a whole
itself.
other topic.
Won't
But
get into it. My bad.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm saying like we couldn't get into it now
yeah,
because
but
that'd be a whole other
at-
episode.
from what I understand, she is now free from from the consensus.
All right, I was just curious. I have no clue.
But anyways, we're out of time. Any
All
last
right.
words?
Well, thanks for being here, Jillian.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys asked me to
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah, I'm glad that you knew a lot about Brittany. So, anyways, guys, like the subscription below, comment,
Just starts making stuff up
comment,
right
do all
here.
that stuff. All right, see you on the other side
Other side of what?
of the TV. Turn around,
You're gonna pop out the
pop
screen.
out. I'm gonna pop
Boom.
out of your closet.
That's a little creepy.
I'd be terrified.
Imagine Zach
I'm
coming
just
out of
doing
your
this.
closet.
Boo.